everyone, welcome to the pilot episode of The Joy of Puzzles. Today I'm going to build for you a puzzle called Paint Party, published in 2003 by Springbook Puzzle. Springbook was established in 1963, and in 1967 until 2001 they were owned by the Hallmark Company. Since 2001 they have been owned by Ally Products. The photo, in this case, was taken by Matthias Kulka, and I apologize in advance for any mispronunciation there may be. I want to review this puzzle, but I also want to talk a little about strategy. The strategy in this case was to build the border. That's probably what I do 95% of the time. It sets a great foundation. It creates your guideline for how you're going to build the rest of the puzzle. After the border, my plan was to do the yellow pieces next, followed by the orange, the green, the purple, the red, and the blue. And like most things, it did not go to plan, but that's okay. This puzzle is 500 pieces, so I would say overall it's going to be a pretty easy puzzle to build. And it took me just over 2.5 hours to build the entire thing. When I review puzzles, I'm going to do it on a scale of 1 to 5. And I have 4 categories that I'm going to review each puzzle in. I'm going to start with the puzzle material quality, the paperboard that the puzzle is actually printed on. It has a lot to do with how easy a puzzle is to build and if you struggle with it or not. Now, Springbook uses a lot of recycled materials, which is commendable, but it doesn't necessarily lead to the best puzzling experience. It's not a firm paperboard. There's a bit of a pliability there. So I'm going to give this a 2. Again, it's recycled material, and again, I applaud them for doing it. It's a great use of those things, those materials and resources, but little to be desired on the build side. The next category is the puzzle cut quality. Now, I have several puzzles by Springbook, and most of them are right where they should be, a 3 or probably better in some cases. But this particular puzzle, this particular pressing, I'm going to say the blade was a little dull, and each piece I had to fuss with. You see it here in the video that I'm kind of having to hold pieces down and tap them into place, even though visually it's clear that this is the place that piece has to go. It just doesn't fit right, and if you have to pull a piece out, it feels like you're going to pull the piece next to it with it. The next category I'm going to review the puzzle on is difficulty. A bit subjective here. I'm going to give this one a 2. It's only 500 pieces. It's got big, bold colors. It's something that you could easily build with your kids. Straightforward. Again, the nature of the picture makes it an easy build. Now, an easy build is not a bad thing. It all depends on what you're after. If you are looking to spend just a couple hours and then have the family hang out and put a puzzle together, great choice. Right where you want to be. If you're looking for something more challenging that you expect to chip away at over a couple days, this is not that puzzle. But I have plenty of them in my collection like that. The fourth category, frameability. By far the most subjective of the categories in my review. What I mean by this is, would I ever turn this puzzle into a poster? If I was the type of person that would preserve this and hang it up for display, how does this rate? This puzzle I'm actually going to rate relatively high and give it a 4. The picture is very artistic, nice bold colors. It's a piece of artwork. It's unlike some of the other puzzles that you typically run into. It's one that you would consider framing. Now, the overall score in this case is not as simple as adding up all the other scores and giving a mathematical number to it, because, well, some of these things aren't necessarily bad to have a low rating. If a puzzle you're looking for is easy to build, then giving it a 2 is certainly not a bad thing and shouldn't account against the overall rating of the puzzle. So I'm going to give this one a 3. I truly enjoyed it. It's beautiful, bold colors, like I said. Fun to build. I would definitely build it again. I have built it several times. Now, Now, as you see, strategy-wise, I originally said yellow, orange, green, purple, red, and blue. But what ended up happening was, as I started building it, that red pieces kind of stuck out to me, and it tied the top portion of the puzzle together neatly, so I did that next. The purple also, here it is, it's a couple places, but they were slightly different shades, so it was pretty easy to tell which area of purple I was dealing with at any given moment. And once you have the main colors in this case, you start filling in the aluminum cans and the edges around it. You'll see me rotate the puzzle box many times. What that does for me is I find that if you keep the puzzle box in the same orientation and you just keep sifting through the pieces, you get the same results every time. Whereas if you rotate the box, it tricks you, it makes your hand do something different, your eye catches a different color, and it lets me find pieces that I've been searching for. You'll also notice that I haven't flipped all the pieces over. I do tend to wait until there's at least less than a third of the puzzle left to do that. I find that there are plenty of pieces to pick from as I rotate through and have no trouble building entire sections pretty quickly. My least favorite moment in the puzzle is when you get to the hunt and peck method, and by that I mean you can no longer distinguish the colors of where the piece goes. It's just one expanse of a single color, and you have to try every piece and every orientation. This puzzle wasn't too bad because of the unique shape of the pieces. If you build, say, a traditional Big Ben puzzle, you'll find that there are 4 basic shapes, slight variations, and that hunt and peck method can be tedious, especially when dealing with the sky or the ocean or anything of that nature. And you see I get to it at the end of this puzzle when I get to the green. Much more pick a piece, try it in several places, and put it back. So not to plan, but it comes together pretty quickly at the end here, despite the hunt and peck method of the green. I hope you enjoyed the video. As we come up to the end here, you'll notice that once the puzzle is done, I do something a little bit different. I disassemble the puzzle and I put all the edge pieces in a little sandwich bag. And the reason I do that is the next time I go to build the puzzle, I don't spend the first 20 minutes, which is about all it takes to find all the edge pieces. I also loan out the puzzles to family members and friends, and it's always a nice little surprise for them when they open it up and they're like, oh great, we don't have to find all the pieces. The note you see me write in the box is just to myself the last time I built it and was the puzzle complete or not. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you do, click the like button.